We have a little bird friend today. Within a minute, this girl gets up and runs out of the building. My whole body starts lurching forward. The amount of crying in this room every day, like someone's having a... Hello, my friends. What is chi? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Where is it? It is everywhere. Hello, my friend, and welcome to part 6 of my New Age to Jesus short stories and my slow march to salvation. Today we're talking about energy healing modalities. So it's 2003, I'm in massage school, and today we're going to talk about energy healing modalities, why I started to question the existence of chi, how things got so bad at the massage school I had to bring complaints to the administrators, and finally my second total nervous breakdown. Welcome to massage school, the out of control epitome of new age teaching, influence, focused use of wooey powers, and chi. So first of all, isn't it really crazy that nobody ever questions what chi energy is or its existence before 100% making it totally the object core structure of their spirituality and their healing model? Like, okay, it's chi. All right, cool, it's chi. Because I didn't question it either. And neither did any of the other 100 students and staff members locked in a classroom together 9 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, for 6 months. So there's 2 classes, about 30-ish students, and almost every single person in my class has some big background in New Age. And everyone's bringing their soup and their truth and everything to this soup that we're in together. This petri dish of insanity that we're in together, that we're all embracing, and it's like amazing. And we just threw ourselves into this surreal experience with each other, a bunch of strangers and a staff of instructors that we just trusted completely with our essence and our chi to build us up and train us in healing. Now, this was massage, like half of it was like basic massage, Swedish massage and anatomy and the nervous system, and that was very helpful, but the other half of it was definitely like spiritual. So this was definitely like East meets West, whatever. So the very first day of massage school, they have us do this polarity therapy. So one person is laying down and you put your hands one place and then kind of like in the opposite. So like on the top of the head and the back of the neck, or on the sternum and then underneath. So you're doing a polarity. And I felt like when I was receiving it, I felt like there were sensations and things trying to balance each other. And I also felt it on the other end. I felt sensation under my hands. And so I'm like, this is wild. And I wasn't completely inexperienced with that kind of thing, but now everything's super focused day in and day out. That was the first day, and I came out of that feeling so chilled out. I had a real big parasympathetic rest and digest relaxation response to that, which I considered to be spiritual, of course. And so I'm very excited. We're at Hogwarts. We're learning goddess stuff, right? This is it. This is gonna be the foundation of my life. We did Swedish massage, we did this thing, then we got into the energy palpation, which was a 2-week intensive. Before moving on about the energy healing classes that are allowed by the New York State for licensing, I'm asking, where did this stuff come from? Where are the origins? Where is the scientific evidence or basis for using any of these things? Well, guess what I found? The on-record origins are not some distant tribe in Europe or anything like that. It's 1970s. America, something called therapeutic touch from these people from, guess what? The Theosophical Society. I am not making that up. We were just talking about it in the last video. The origins of all this stuff we're dealing with was Madame Blavatsky, before her Alice Bailey, the whatevers that are Satanists and Luciferians. And that's it. Class with each other. And the instructors were lovely ladies. So I'm laying there and the girl is doing the work on me, right? And she's got her hand like here. And I feel pressure. Her hand's like over here and I'm feeling pressure and I'm feeling it accelerate. I'm feeling it intensify. And I called the instructor over and I said, so what is this that I'm feeling? I want to know, like, what is that? Like, I feel it. What is it? She didn't answer me. She like just didn't answer me. She just said, "Laura, keep going." So it was pretty intense. After that session, later on in the class, I suddenly felt like I was 10 feet tall. I felt like I could pick up the building and throw it over the mountains. And it was not a pleasant experience. I did not feel very good. And then by the end of the day though, I had settled and had talked to the other students, and we all just assumed I had some kind of release. I had some kind of detox, spiritual, energetically, some kind of detox took place. So while it was scary, I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, so there was a detox. But let me tell you about the other part of the class when I was giving to the girl. Now I'm doing the same thing, putting my hands over her, in her aura, in her energy field. And all of a sudden she starts crying and she starts saying she's scared. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of calmed it down where I was doing some more massage with the energy stuff, like kind of just touching her hair and like calming it down. The instructor came over and said, while what you're doing is very nice, you should really just stick to the lesson and just do the energy. I said, but she's kind of uncomfortable. She said, no, just do the energy. That really happened. So I'm like, okay, she's the instructor. So I go back to the energy. Within a minute, this girl gets up and runs out of the building. Then the girl said she had some like really frightening experience and it was like crazy and it was very scary. And then we just kept doing the class and nobody stopped it or said anything. Nobody answered any of my questions. So we're going through this 2 weeks, and the amount of crying in this room every day, like someone's having a breakdown, someone's crying. And it was like this every single day, and everybody just accepted, like, oh, now they are detoxing, they're releasing something. Oh my God. So then there was this one thing we did called the Star of David, and it was very specific. You can only do it this way. You do like a touch here and here, and you do the opposite, as above, so below, here, here. And then you got to like touch the neck, the throat. Well, when the girl was bringing her finger to my throat, I could feel it coming in slowly, and I got very scared of it coming. And then when it came and touched me, I start crying and heaving and like heaving. And then my whole body starts lurching forward. I'm not kidding. Like I couldn't control it. I was like lurching forward like this. And it was really scary. And you know what the instructor did? The instructor came over. You know what she did? And this is what they would do. They would just sit there and smile at you. They would smile at you. And just smile until you calm down. And again, you trusted them because like they must have been through this and this is going somewhere good, and they're smiling and it's calming you down. You're like, okay, I'm ready to, go to lunch. And then to anatomy and physiology class for the rest of the other part of the day. But again, I did learn a lot of good things. Like I learned a lot about the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, fight or flight, the mechanics of stress, the mechanics of relaxation, and the healing aspects of rest. There was one time where I just felt like this pulsing. It was the same thing. I'm asking the instructor, what is the pulsing? And they just smile. Different woman, just smile. Don't answer the question. So somewhere in the middle of this whole thing, this is a 6-month program, by the way. It's a 2-year, usually takes 2 years to do a 1,000-hour study. This is compiled into 6 months. So somewhere in the middle of all of this, I start to feel very, very uneasy, to say the least. And I start to wonder, what is this energy anyway? And where does it come from? I start going a little out there, like how far does this go? How encompassing is this? Like how deep does this really go? I'm like, do these people really know what they're dealing with? Like, what if this goes beyond like anything we know or have written in our civilization? And what if you can't control it? I started to get upset and scared, and it's just bringing me a lot of anxiety and dread to the point where I went to the administrators of the school and sat with them and told them my concerns. They just honestly seemed offended that I would say this. Nothing came of it. They said, oh, you know what you should do? Maybe you should write up some kind of pamphlet. Right. I'm in this intensive course. You're saying I should write up a pamphlet of consideration. Oh, I'm sorry if my hair is just, yeah, okay. The teachers, the actual instructors of that class came to me and said I hurt their feelings. So at some point, I actually just addressed the class. We do a circle every morning before the class. I told the class, like, I think we all ran into this too quickly. We don't really know what we're dealing with. And honestly, I just want to back off. I'm backing off from all the interacting. I'm just taking it easy. I don't want to talk about energy. I don't want to talk about any of this stuff. And everyone seemed pretty much to agree with me. And I'm raw and I'm drained and I'm starting to hit burnout, and there's still months left to this whole licensing class, this whole school. And so I start to like look at chi, because now I'm like, I can't stop thinking. I'm getting obsessive over the idea of chi and like, what is all this? And it's starting to kind of take hold, start to overthink a lot. So I try to imagine it as more of a dynamic. You know, when this is here and it's doing this and there's something going on, like look at it as a dynamic instead of a mystical thing we don't understand, that it has to be connected to the nervous system. I decided, like, really don't do energy stuff with me, please. I feel like everything that we're going to do from this point forward, I need to have like some kind of biological grounding to it, seriously. So, and the girl I'm spending the most time with, she starts like nagging me about my thoughts on this and bringing up the Wicca. I brought that up, and it was like every time we have these conversations, I feel like I'm kind of losing control, and I can't stop talking about it either. And then one day I get into a fight with this girl, and we like break up, and we're not friends anymore. And that was the day I had that nervous break, the second total nervous breakdown. Really, I'm standing in a Wendy's parking lot, standing there disassociating, just standing there in the parking lot in the sun in a September, disassociating. That was it. I was done. I made it through the program, graduated in November, did not care. I did not care. And that's the story. That's the massage school chi story. So this depression, clinical depression from this lasted from September to about June or July of the next year. I was licensed, I passed my test. And then within 2 years, I would be back into energy work again. And chi again, I'd be kind of back into it, but I remained reserved about chi and about energy. I had a conversation with an acupuncturist years later who agreed with me, was like, people who just throw themselves into these ideas and practices without reservation, she's like, they don't know what they're doing. In her clinics going through acupuncture, one of the students caused another girl to be institutionalized. She was institutionalized. She said, yeah, no, you're right. Now, as a Christian, we believe in the demonic. There's just no way there isn't a demonic influence somewhere with all these modalities. Whether it's in our experiences or our mindset, our worldview, or just distorted logic, there's something spiritually really wrong with this. And I'm believing, and I think now the nervous system is way more powerful than we even understand. It's likely that a lot of experiences we do have that are interesting and wild are probably a part of the nervous system. That very well could be the case. But we don't focus on that or learning what it is. We just believe in some magical power that didn't come from anywhere, doesn't go anywhere, and is responsible for everything in your life, and you can control it. But let me tell you, there's no better healer than Jesus. We have a faith problem in our church. That's why we should be seeing more healing. We should be seeing more healing in the church, but I think we have a big faith problem in the church. And even if all these modalities were real and it was just natural law, God is a supernatural being with supernatural healing and a supernatural law. Except for Reiki, which is apparently an intelligent life force. But that'll be next time. Guys, that's it. I don't got more time for it. That's everything. I hope you like it. Jesus is the answer. He's our healer, and have faith in him. He said, Jesus tells us, instructs us as Christians, with the Holy Spirit, if you're born again, you tell that mountain to throw itself into the sea, and it will. Amen. See you next time. Love you guys.